Program is sponsored by Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim sauce with the awesome fay, with shafafa on the side.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live on the networks of South Florida Live. That's on the YouTube channel, Facebook, and we're streaming, simulcasting on the 91,000 strong Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group. We are here today at Shenanigan's East Side Sports Pub and Grill with the man himself, Mr. Shenanigans, Pat Utter.
No, let me thank you guys for being here. First off, it's fantastic.
And we've got Defo back in the man cave in an undisclosed location. He's got some very important business to attend to that is classified. It's highly classified. We don't want to get in trouble with the FBI.
I'm unloading a couple of antiques here, and the guy could only come like at 12 o'clock, which he's here now. And so I've fallen out of the deal, and hopefully the Mustang will get the right count from this gentleman.
Wait,
That'd
and
be great, but
now this, you act very youthful. You go to all these music clubs and gigs, and you get around, and you love watching sports. But when you say you've got like antiques to sell, that makes you sound like a very old man.
well, again, rush to judgment by a guy who, is supposed to be discerning and, have a little bit of a discriminating, mindset. But my parents were antique dealers, and fortunately, with my mom's passing, for a good portion of their life, they were antique dealers, and they were very good at it. And they put a lot of stuff up for auction and bought a lot of things, and they saved a few things. And they're collecting dust here in my house, so I decided I was going to unload some of the stuff before it broke. And because of very valuable lamps and glass pieces. So a friend of mine is an auctioneer, and he's going to auction them off for me.
All right, that's good. But you're missing out on something. Instead of like collecting auction items, we're collecting chicken wings there, Defo. I don't know if
I'm very envious here because anytime, Shenanigans, I told you, I go back to the original. I remember when Patrick opened up the first place. And I used to go play ball there at TY Park with my son. And it's 30 years ago. So he was about 10 years old. And we loved it because it was a place that you could go in if you wanted to watch a ball game, have a good time. If you were in the mood to party a little bit as an adult, you could have a good time, or you could bring a family in there. And there was something for everybody. And the food was always great, very reasonably priced, and the drinks were always spot on. And you've just continued that tradition, Patrick Utter, for 30 years. So congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Big anniversary celebration that you had recently. Yes. And but now you can see Patrick, I love him because he is a full-on Dolphins fan. He's not ashamed to admit it. He's still got his Merino jersey. I guess you could shave off the 3 once Tua starts throwing some more TDs and collecting some more W's. But how you feeling today? How you feeling about the team? How you feeling about?
I'll tell you what. That was a fantastic tribute. 50 years. It seems like it went by in a blink of an eye. And I like the way that you said to my man Devo, who I've followed my whole career and love the both of you, acts like a young guy when he goes out to these music venues. You notice how he slipped that acts like a young guy?
Oh, he loves to take his shots, but he's more of an old man than I am. Any standard.
I'm an old soul. Yeah, I'm a octogenarian trapped in a 56-year-old body because the aches and pains, the oy veys when I get up in the morning now, it's a very
only gets worse.
Oh, great. But no, we're pleased to be out here.
My God.
Pat, you know how much we appreciate you and your support here as we've gotten this thing off the ground, and it's gotten a cult following now, and all those crazy foodies on the Let's Eat group. If you're out there and you haven't been to one of the two Shenanigans, and again, the original 30 years in the business there,
and the new one 15 years here.
15 years.
Like people say, how's the new one doing? I'm like,
it's not so new.
Usually that's a career for a restaurant guy. The 15 year. We're 15 years here now.
And this location, this is my hood.
Yeah, this is.
I love it.
I got to tell you, as I morph, this is mine too.
Yeah.
Others a great pub. Don't get me wrong, but this is the spot for me.
Well, this place, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, but it's right in between. It's that great corridor as you go down from the airport down into Hollywood and then all the way down into Miami for those who are so inclined. But it's a great way station for people like if you have a late night pickup at the airport, you say, where do we go to get something decent to eat? Better than decent. This is good food here. And that's the other thing people don't realize. Oh, it's just a sports bar. You really take pride in all your menu items. You gave me a little bit of the great the pork, the pulled pork. I mean, they have the smoker and the barbecue.
Big Southern pride.
And Pat, what people don't realize about you is you come from this fine dining background, right? You worked
right here on this US 1 corridor. Ironically, right down the street, I started. I had a neighbor back in the day. He owned the Bavarian Village, and later on, he purchased Martha's on the Intercoastal.
Author Supper Club.
Yeah,
very
nice
classy
place.
joint.
Yep. And what happened was he was a next door neighbor of mine, and my dear friend Brian McDonough, who was my Pete and repeat in the day. We ended up working there. He was a busboy, and I was a dishwasher, and I just kind of fell in love with the fun atmosphere and of the restaurant business. Even from that perspective, I learned it from the ground floor up, and then I worked every station in the kitchen, and then I went on to get a culinary degree. Not to bore everybody with that, but the key is that we don't use any frozen product here.
Right.
The chicken wings are no steroids, no hormones, plump roaster.
I got to dive in because it smells too good.
I'm going in. Let friends eat frozen fish. The Meatloaf Monday, which you guys were nice enough to have, there's a little secret in there that we put a little dash of Worcestershire sauce.
Nice.
But it's a recipe we've had for the 30 years. If a half Irish guy can't make meatloaf, then something's wrong. But I have to tell you, number one, I appreciate you guys being here. But the tribute to the Dolphins last night, from my perspective, from ESPN, they did such a wonderful job for the perfect season, 17-0. Anything you do perfectly. But I couldn't believe that my history started with the Dolphins at Stratford's, and they even made reference to Stratford's.
Wow, that's in Hollywood. No longer there.
No, well,
Hollywood Boulevard.
It's still on Hollywood Boulevard by 95, but as things progressed, the man that owned it, he was Guy Roper. He was an incredible guy here in town. He hung out with Tucker Fredrickson's father. And the only reason I know all this history is I was a little kid that used to cut grass at the Lutheran church in the back and cut through the door to see my heroes, which were on TV last night, years older than me, but followed Dolphins ever since I was a little kid.
Nice. Well, it's great that you have such ties to the community and that you a long-time season ticket holder. I don't know if you are anymore.
Well, I don't want to touch on that subject right now.
There's only so much punishment a person can take.
Well, not so much that. I was a season ticket holder, came over with the original thing, but let's just say that the expense. The fact that I own Sports Bar, I don't want to downplay it. I think this is the best seat in town right now.
It is. Football now with the slow motion replays and the isolated thing. It's a much more enjoyable experience to come in here in the nice cool air conditioning, and you get surrounded by all these screens and surrounded by all these good menu items and cold beer, and it's a little bit more affordable than what is it? $20 for a beer at the stadium.
The stadium under the vision of the ownership is, in the old days, I used to even get access because I sold souvenirs during the 72, 73.
You're like,
you're like Defo.
We have that in common.
I sold. I went down there with my friend. We drove a little Volkswagen bus. We went in and we volunteered to. We didn't care what we made. He'd watch the first half. I'd watch the second half.
Nice.
And we got access. And back then, I used to see everybody from the neighborhood. It was, the whole town was shut down in the 70s.
Yeah, everything revolved around that team. It was the only game in town, literally. Yeah, I mean,
the
Canes weren't even good yet.
In the beach.
So, it's great.
Yeah.
So, we're here at Shenanigans with Pat Utter, the proprietor of the two Shenanigans locations. And Defo, I got to throw a yellow flag. I don't know if I got a yellow penalty flag, but a food flag on our man Lubie over here. I just saw him double dip a half-eaten chicken wing into the blue cheese.
Am I sharing?
No, you're not.
I didn't think I was sharing.
Now we're not anymore.
See, you're getting on him about acting young, and now you're giving him all.
Well, because they always give me grief. This is the running joke because when we do these remotes, I usually just paw at the food, and they're saying, "Oh,
I did the math. If there was 5 of us and 1, I was only going to do it once. There's 2, and there's 2. And
well,
Patrick,
this makes me feel good when I see guys already. The food came and
yeah,
I can't hold myself back.
It's great. We got hit with the spread here, and we have a very well balanced meal, Defo. We've got chicken wings, we've got blackened mahi sandwich, fish,
all your fries.
Forget about meatless Monday. We don't do.
How can we time this? Look at it.
Look at that. Everybody's coming in for the lunch rush.
I think they're coming in from the game last night. They're just recovering here. Patrick, when you were going to the games with your season tickets, were you expected to handle all of the arrangements for the tailgating party? Because you do see some elaborate setups there.
To be candid with you, I think that the camaraderie, the way everybody comes together and tailgates, throws the football around. I had my son's 15th birthday. We were there this year. I think that's all part of just enjoying it. The game is the game. Okay, people lose their mind over some people throwing a ball around and everything, but keep it in the right context. It's still a fantastic, enjoyable thing to see live.
Well, yeah,
if you do all that, if you see big crowds of people, and I don't want to get cynical. I mean, still a blast, and they put on a first-class show. And with the Dolphins, like
that was
Darius Rucker says, they can make you cry, but can make you happy too.
So
the crowd was good last night, though. The crowd was great. I mean, they were enthusiastic. I've been watching a lot of these playoff baseball games where the crowds are fantastic, but that's a slowly transpiring sport. But last night's Dolphin crowd, I have to say, very much, what was part of the seemingly, ability of the Dolphins to finally will their way to a victory there by getting that last-minute interception.
All right, Defo, I'm calling timeout because I'm going to go into my old sports writer, cranky sports writer mode.
Go ahead.
No, and then
What are you crying about?
I want Pat to put on his superfan jersey, which he already has.
I put it on. Matter of fact, I slept in it.
He's a Marino. No more Superman.
But no, we're talking about what, we were, I was hounding you guys last night by text because I just could not believe that, I know it's midway through the third quarter, but when you're up by 6 and you have a pretty much gimme field goal, you're down at the 14-yard line, and you've got 4th and 2. It's not 4th and inches.
Questionable call.
That decision when you're up 16-10, up by 6 points, and I know McDaniel's a smart guy. He went to Yale and everything, but sometimes guys are so smart they're stupid. And I don't care what the chart says or what the analytics say. What I say is simple math. Anything over 8 equals a 2-score game against a young quarterback who's looking shaky already. 2-score game is better than a 1-score game. And it almost came back to bite him in the butt at the end. And I was just howling. I thought it was, there's little coaching decisions where you say, okay, that's a minor thing and it could have been bad. This was a major malpractice. It's something that makes me question McDaniel's game day coaching ability. I thought it was such a wrong call at that time. And the fact that, the Steelers had not one, but 2 chances to actually win the game. And never mind the bettors howling, because you are dealing now with an NFL that's in bed with gambling entities. And it looks suspicious when your team is basically given 7 or 7.5 points and your coach deliberately doesn't take those points that put you in the covering mode. I don't want to say that McDaniel had money on the game, but it just makes me wonder. Like, you're supposed to get points whenever you can, and he didn't. So I was up in arms about it. What do you think, Pat?
No, first off, we have to keep it in mind. The guy's 38 years old. No offense, and he's a first-year coach.
Hurting my feelings. It's true.
I don't think he managed the clock at all.
Yeah, he's supposed to
the whole second half. I think that the ghost of the championship guys there and just the aura. There were 5 easy interceptions that were there.
Against a good team, they lose that game.
Against a good team, no, I'm not trying to take anything away from a win. A win is a win, and that's actually what he said. But even when he was pressed, he could not defend his coaching. You have days like that when it's your first year. I know 30 years ago, my first year, I would have handled things a little differently than I do now. I think I totally agree. He, even on some of the calls that he was going, his running game hadn't established itself at all.
Right.
And they stuffed that guy twice, stuffed him twice. They sent a message, you're not going to run on us. So I don't know where they came up with that idea.
Look, they got away with it. They're 4-3. They're not in first place. The New York Jets are. What the heck is going on,
Well,
Pat
the Bills
Utter?
are, but the Jets are in second.
So nobody, you can't just. It just goes to show when you.
Wouldn't that be great to have that rivalry back?
It looks
the
like
Dolphins
it's
hold their
coming
own.
I
back.
can remember going down there in a bus for a Shenanigans thing, and a Jet fan with a bloody hand pounding on the bus, and we're all looking from the Shenanigans bus, and they're like, "Let's go out there." No, everybody stay on the bus. I mean, imagine that comeback.
That'd be nice.
Oh my God, that was one of the greatest rivalries in sports.
It got pretty nasty there in the 80s with the Killer Bees, and when the Jets were halfway decent.
Goodness.
So that was
Blackwood Brothers.
Well,
AJ Dewey.
I guess things go in cycles. Defo, what was your takeaways from last night's game? You encouraged at all, or?
I mean, it's okay. Like Patrick said, winning in the NFL is really the bottom line and the key, and it's not easy to do. But don't make it difficult. And I'm with you. You can have all the sabermetrics and analytics and all of this new way of thinking. There's no way that had to be 100% to go for a field goal in that spot. And I was like you. I started screaming at the screen there, which I don't get that passionate about it like I used to many years ago. But I thought this is the dumbest move I've ever seen. Even if it works, it doesn't give you that much of an advantage. If you subsequently go in for the touchdown, you're still only up 13 points. And it's 2 scores one way or the other. So I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. If I was the owner of the team, I would have fired McDaniel on the spot.
Now you're being sarcastic.
I'm not. I would have. I'm in total agreement with you that by any book, it's 100% 4th and 2 at that point. You've been rolling through, and scoring easily throughout the early portion of the game, but they had been stopped for a while, and it was time to go up 9 points. No doubt about it.
Unless the field goal kicker had a broken ankle that we don't know.
If he had one leg, I still would have gone ahead and tried for the field goal. One leg.
So, and again, it was for field position wise. I can understand if it's 4th and 2 and you're at the 3-yard line and you got them pinned back and they're going to maybe, you get a safety, but this is already at the 14. So even if they kick the field goal and then they kick off and it's a touchback, it's only a net gain of 6 yards. Like if they take over at the 14 versus the 20, it made no sense on any level to me, except if you're just trying to be brash and bold and show that you're going to go for it.
You were working for FanDuel. That would be the only thing. You knew that a lot of money had been laid off on the Dolphins and that they needed to, balance it out so the Pittsburgh people won. And thank you very much.
You loved it.
I had Pittsburgh +7, so I was a happy man.
Daniel did too.
Thought it was a brilliant decision, by the way.
Game, and he wanted to keep it close enough so that I saw spreads at 7 or 7.5, and the final number 6, Pittsburgh +7 equals a Pittsburgh win in the gambling column. Not that that's how we like to view games, but this is
the only way to view games. Did you get the mahi sandwich? I mean,
we do. We have the mahi. I was going to start.
Hold on up there. I want to see that thing.
Okay. We got it blackened.
It's among my favorites.
Course, Patrick gets it in fresh, never frozen fish.
No,
I think Bouncer Smith had that fish on a hook this morning.
Yes. Friends don't let friends eat frozen fish.
And I'm going to be on my best behavior and cut off a little piece so that nobody yells at me for using my fingers or anything like that.
You're only doing that because Patrick's there. That's the only reason.
The ugly second half. 5 punts,
it really was.
2 interceptions by the Steelers. 5 punts and a turnover on downs by the Dolphins. That was the second half, okay?
And like 3 dropped interceptions by the Steelers during that second half alone.
Right.
How was the crowd last night? Now were you at
we were
your place?
We were very busy. And matter of fact, what was ironic? Because of the cruise hotels around here, we were loaded with Pittsburgh Steelers fans going to the game, but not coming back. They didn't come back. They came here and they were there. It's
as long as they got a little lubricated and
they were good
before the game.
Too, so.
They were good.
They were all up and down this stretch. I saw them
right
all
up
weekend
here,
long.
Yep, all around here. Holiday Inn, Delano Hotel, all
good.
came to Shenanigans.
Look, it was the Dolphins are 4-3. Mm-hmm. They are in position to make a run this year, and that's all you want. Tua's back. He didn't get hurt last night, thank goodness.
Very fragile man.
You think he's fragile now? The problem is with all these concussions or the protocols. You just worry that if he takes one more big lick, it might be a career for him. I mean, you don't know, right? it sounded like, and NBC, I think, did a horrible job in addressing what exactly happened to him. Maria Taylor, I don't know if you caught this pregame interview, Defo.
No, I didn't see that.
It was all very oblique, and they didn't say what exactly happened in the Buffalo game and what exactly, happened and what's been. He talked about going for second opinions in the last few weeks. He talked about his parents' concerns, but nobody addressed what it was. What was he going for second opinions of? Where his brain function is at? Where his concussion protocol is at?
He was answering questions again in Hebrew after the ball game. And, he also, after he gave like the prayer over wine, which is always a nice thing to have a glass of wine. But he's diving forward like he's Greg Louganis off the high board in the Acapulco Cliffs. He certainly is not holding back, and he's smarter. Very vulnerable to another injury of this type. So, you cross your fingers. He's a very likable guy, and you would like to see him do well. And I'm still rooting for McDaniel and Tua to prosper this year, and we want to hit the over 8.5. But very, very high risk and high wire type of stuff that he's doing when he's running the football, diving head first. Almost got clobbered a couple of times right on the noggin, which would have been really, really dangerous.
Meanwhile, we'll just enjoy this win. We're going to come back after the break with Pat. We're going to talk some high school football because he's got a son at one of the top-ranked football high school programs in the nation. And my daughter is a cheerleader for one of the big rivals who they beat a couple of weeks ago. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Hey, and I do want to put in a good word for our friends at Visit Lauderdale. We're going to be going over to the boat show, it looks like, on Wednesday. Nice. We're going to be with Neki Mohan of Visit Lauderdale. We're going to see how their whole food operation works during this 1 week craziness of like every major yachty boat person in the world comes swooping into South Florida. And Visit Lauderdale wants everybody to know the Greater Fort Lauderdale welcomes everyone under the sun. And that means all you foodies out there, culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados, come one, come all, and get ready to savor every flavor and every moment. We got from dockside dining with breathtaking views and the lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard to the award-winning chefs serving up every cuisine imaginable. There's a world-class culinary scene that awaits. So come stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Discover taste sensations at more than 4,000 area restaurants, including right here at Shenanigan's Eastside Sports Pub and Grill, where you get all kinds of great stuff, late-night food and all that more. So explore a thrilling nightlife scene filled with craft breweries along the Visit Lauderdale L Trail. There's hidden speakeasies, rooftop bars, expert mixologists serving up amazing cocktails. It's a never-ending culinary celebration in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and everyone's invited. More information, please go to visitlauderdale.com and start living your best life for everyone under the sun.
Definitely.
You're on too much good behavior here, Mike Mayo. I mean, he hasn't started really chowing down yet, Patrick.
I'm going to get there. We're
hoping during the break.
We're in the
sample
first,
a little bit of everything.
First segment.
All right.
Second segment, I start getting a little messy.
All right, we're coming back with more of Mike Mayo. We're chowing down at Shenanigans in a moment.
When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent.
Wow, that was pretty heavy there.
We're back. What a shock. You caught me with food in my mouth. We're back here at Shenanigans on a, forget Meatless Monday. We got Meatloaf Monday here at Shenanigans East Side.
I'm a huge Meatloaf fan, by the way, Mike Mayo. I mean, I love Meatloaf, and I like the concept. Patrick already, as usual, has a unique approach to it. But always a dynamite thing. I would imagine a giant seller on these Mondays.
Yeah, Mondays.
Let me get you on.
Sorry.
There we got it. Yeah.
So if there's one day that we say that we don't like is Monday. Okay, so when you've had a long tailgate weekend and everything, and you have to get back to work, and you want to have something that gives you a little comfort, brings you back to your youth, Meatloaf Monday. More our friend Anthony Bruno and that he has martinis and meatballs, everything. But Shenanigans Meatloaf Mondays just perfectly synonymous. Goes hand in hand every Monday.
It's a special. $13.99 gets you a full plate.
You can barely eat it. Fresh broccoli, fresh mashed potatoes.
Now you were saying your son has a hand in this, or does he?
Yeah, my son made the meatloaf mix yesterday.
Wow.
It's a little mom's secret.
We're not going to ask for all the ingredients, but it's
if you notice something you can't really put your finger on, it could be a little dash of Worcestershire sauce. But we have a little special ingredients in there.
He hasn't seen me eat. I can put my finger on it. I put my whole hand on it and just shove it in.
You didn't grab a fistful of his meatloaf. Well, what are the essentials? Because there are a lot of variations of meatloaf made by people at home, and certainly in restaurants, you never exactly know what you're going to get. I mean, I've had it in different places.
You got to get the right blend.
Yeah.
You can't be heavy too. You go into places and they're too heavy on the meat, and it tastes just like a greasy hamburger meatball.
Yeah.
Meatloaf's the same way. You got to have the right
mix.
Right mix. You have your condiments in there, your pepper and your Worcestershire. But we have some seasoned breadcrumbs that we also season up. Yeah, we season the breadcrumbs up. We give them a little toast, and then we mix that in with
nice.
So
and is this strictly beef, or is there a little bit of
strictly beef, no pork in there?
Yeah, that's good. And I got to tell you, because the plating, first of all, he's got some nice steamed broccoli, so healthy.
Real
and then
nice.
he's got,
and you know that Lubie loves steamed vegetables. I mean, that would be his go-to item there.
And his mashed potatoes, Defo, I love it like this, where you can actually see the red skin because he uses those little red skin potatoes, red bliss potatoes, and he mashes them up fresh. I'm sure put a little bit of smash them with a little bit of butter, Yep. And but when you see those red skins in there, that's where all the nutrients are. So I'm glad to see the red skins. It's good. You're missing out on a winner of a day here.
I love Shenanigans. I would go there anytime. It was unfortunate this
you've got to
piece
sell
of
your
business came up.
antiques.
Yeah.
I'm sure next week you'll have to miss a show because you're going on Antiques Roadshow and you want to sell Aunt Ethel's watch that you found under the bed or something like that.
This is some nice stuff, and you know what? It would have been hard to get any of that stuff with the way that you have been hoarding food at these remotes, Mike Mayo. So, and I'm surprised. I mean, that Patrick didn't realize that he might need to wear a bib while he's sitting next to you while you're eating. Not because of anything that he's going to do, but because you have a tendency to splatter this stuff all over the place. You've almost become Harvey Fialkoff Jr. when it comes to this sort of thing.
All right, it's getting ugly here. I did have some questions for Pat about the whole scene now. I mean, it's great to see people are back. And again, the pandemic, I mean, it still exists, but now with the vaccines and other things, people are getting out and about. We're seeing crowds again. We're seeing indoor dining. And now we're seeing all sports
flourishing.
What's it like to see, and I'm going to put this mic up again. Yeah,
sure.
The last week, everybody's in action. We've got baseball playoffs. We've got NFL. We've got college football. We've got NBA back in the heat. We've got NHL. We've got Major League Soccer. And next month, I didn't realize this, Defo, the World Cup is starting because they're playing it in the Mideast somewhere where it's really hot. So they had to wait till the winter time, I guess in Qatar or whatever. What's it like running a sports bar now? Is it every night pretty much another party? And what's the biggest draws? Is it Dolphins Heat or where do things stand?
Well, remember, this is not Boston, though. Okay.
Right.
All right. So we have other things to compete with, and mainly the beach and the beautiful weather, tourism. But for locals, this is the way it's exploded here with all the transplanted fans coming from up north. Yeah. You talk about the pandemic. So the people that came down here from the Northeast all along have established this. We're in a explosion here. And the team that did you hear how many Pittsburgh fans were at the stadium last night?
It was pretty loud.
Okay. The Jet fans, this and that. So with the Heat, a close second to the Dolphins, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because still to this day, it's a fantastic game. But a little sneak in there that you would never ever think, even ahead of the Marlins, is the love for the Panthers.
I was going to say locally, the Panthers have a nice
locals
following.
They put the Panther organization. I don't care. You can't go there, watch a live game, and not put a smile on your face.
Yeah, it's a blast.
They really, really roll it out for the locals, and their prices are still pretty reasonable
for a ticket.
For a ticket, exactly. You go with a family of 4. There's so many games, so you could have a big blast there, and it's a nice evening. And now, if we could ever get a foothold,
Defo and I came out here to watch one of the Panthers playoff games, and actually that was I think a victory, one of the rare playoff victories that they had. But we're looking forward to hopefully another good season, another long playoff. Well,
you're also talking, Patrick, to 3 guys that have never paid for a ticket in their lives. So we don't care about the mild cost there at the
Panther
games.
You guys are now playing something, though.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very serious thing. I have intentionally not moved out of the East Hollywood for my whole life because of my proximity to Gulfstream Racetrack.
Very good. Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you right now that I can shoot down the Diplomat corridor or punch through. I still feel it. I'm in awe when I'm around the both of you guys with your knowledge. But the sport of kings keeps me here.
Yeah,
it really does. And people don't even quite realize that you have a full Monty of fun here. You want to see baseball, you want to see basketball, you want to see football, and don't downplay a beautiful afternoon at the track.
No, if you want to punch up TVG, or actually it's FanDuel.com network now that's showing the races, and our friend Caden Bradar works for them and has been covering the Keeneland meet. But you'll always punch up a horse race if you need to watch that on one of the many screens. How many TVs you got
Channel
here
602. I tell you the truth. We closed for 5 days for the first time in 15 years, and we did a complete reset because also we stream all the games. We have the SEC, we have the Big Ten, we have all the college package.
Nice.
But we also have
and you get the Amazon
we get
Thursday
the
night.
Amazon. We stream. We have everything in. So as far as we upped our game this past summer, and we're all in.
Oh, it looks great.
We are the sports place.
Crystal clear HD, big screens all over.
Yeah.
I see Stephen A. Smith. That's a kind of scary sight when you see
my
a
guy's Max Kellerman. I got to get a good analysis. No screaming and yelling.
Defo is a boxing aficionado.
Yeah, I love it.
I loved that you brought up horse racing because we're going to be next week. It's Breeders' Cup time. And for those of us who do pay attention, we've got a rivalry that matches Ali Frazier or Jets Dolphins in its heyday with this whole Life is Good versus Flightline. Who do you think is going to reign supreme in that matchup in the Breeders' Cup Classic?
I got to tell you something. I have a friend, Cliff, who's an agent for Edward Prado. There's local legends here.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Prado's
legends
great.
in sports. They come and frequent this place. The trainers, we go long way. So for me, I just don't know how it's going to unfold, but I always have cheered my whole life for the underdog. I'm not looking for the chalk. I'm not looking for the big boys. I want to find that horse that, like last Kentucky Derby.
Right.
Come on. How's it get any better than that?
What was it? What's the name of that one? I don't even know.
Was it
Rich
90
Strike.
to 1
I keep
or
saying
50
Mind
to
That
1?
Bird. That was 10 years ago. Rich Strike.
And that crazy jockey, young jockey, he's here.
Yeah, Sonny Leon.
Yeah.
So,
man, it's a lot of fun.
All right. No, I mean, but I'm looking forward to the matchup of the big two heavyweights because it looks like they're heads and shoulders above the rest.
Two of the greatest horses.
I like Life is Good. I like that name. I like saying Life is Good because life is great. But especially when you're at Shenanigans eating meatloaf. This meatloaf is good stuff
meatloaf
there.
is spectacular.
And even more impressive.
Slip that in a little.
You walk into a sports bar and you're expecting certain things, but my first impression is usually formulated by the fact that there it is. I mean, you walk into Shenanigans and there is at least one television set dedicated to Channel 602, which is formerly TVG, and that's more impressive than even knowing that the coleslaw is going to knock you out of the park. But no, I'll always look for that. That's a sign of a good sports bar that the people know what they're doing, and always great to come in there to Shenanigans and see, the 4th at Santa Anita going around as you come in there late in the afternoon.
I'm frequently asked if I'm a horse owner, because I'm a proprietor too. And I say, I bet them $1 at I buy them $1 at a time.
Yeah.
That's my favorite way to get them.
It's the nice part about the races is unlike a dolphin game, you can always have the chance of leaving Gulfstream with more money in your pocket than when you can.
Yeah.
And that's something that never can happen at a Dolphins game.
I sense a little resentment for that play calling. That whole team fell apart in the second half.
Yeah, it was ugly.
That was a lucky win to exit like that. It was
such ugliness, and they are very, very lucky that the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary had hands of
Stone. Exactly.
Can you imagine those guys going home and saying, "What did I do here?"
Yeah, they really let victory fall out of their hands there, but that's all right. We're here at Shenanigans. We're having a grand old time. Come on out. And tonight's football game, I guess it's a replay of the Super Bowl from 1986. Fridge Perry, we got the Bears against the Patriots, and both teams are struggling a little bit, but not as bad as they could be.
Well, if you listen to Bill Belichick, they're the greatest. The Bears are the greatest team in the league. Have you been hearing his? I love the way he comes walking in. This is just a incredible team. If you listen to Belichick,
yeah. Well,
he's been looking at old clips of Dennis Green.
They're who we thought they
we'll
were.
see what happens, but obviously, Dolphin fans are rooting for the Bears because we want to see division foes sink as much as they can in the standings this early in the year.
How's the Monday night crowd? Has it become a thing again to go out on Monday night and watch a game?
Monday night, come on. Monday night ruled supreme when it wasn't such accessibility. A matchup like tonight, I got to be completely candid with you. After the Dolphins performing on Sunday night, we had a huge night last night, coming back celebration. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a letdown, besides the fact that neither one of those offenses are exciting at all.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a game that you could watch the first half and fall asleep.
Do you notice when there's bigger matchups, you get bigger crowds?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And any build up. Did you guys see that stat? The Dolphins hadn't been in that primetime evening, the way they showcased the stadium, 2017. Okay, that's how far they were removed from being even on. And to be candid, they fell on their face in the second half.
Yeah,
it might be another 5 years. I don't know, but.
Hey, I want to ask you something because today Jim Sarney, our unofficial producer, tells me it's National Bologna Day.
Wow.
You have like a menu of 200 items.
That's a bunch of bologna.
Yeah. Have you ever served a fried bologna sandwich here? Is that something you ever ate? I be
candid with you. I grew up in an Irish household, and you have to remember, I never want to see a liverwurst and onion sandwich, and I never want to see a bologna sandwich fried. Mortadella.
No nostalgia.
I'll take that with little pistachio nuts with fresh mozzarella on a crusty bread. But I can't go to what's in that bologna. What's in Spam? I don't want to know.
What's in liverwurst is even worse. I mean, if you ever read the ingredients, you'll never eat
bologna. I actually have fond memories. One of my lunchroom staples at PS 236 in Brooklyn was the Oscar Mayer bologna on Wonder white bread with Goulden's spicy brown mustard. I like this stuff, and I was absolutely delighted a couple of years ago when there was this Southern cuisine place that opened in Hollywood.
Yeah, they had it.
Gone. They did a fried bologna sandwich, but it was elevated. It was on artisanal bread, and it was with these microgreens and some house-made mustard, and I loved it. It brought me back.
What did you say? They're gone? I can't imagine why.
Yeah. They're making foo-foo bologna, Patrick. And, only Mayo would get sucked in.
You know, we had great press. Michael Mayo loved us. He was food critic.
Yes.
We had a great location. What went wrong? The about our bologna sandwich.
This guy is living proof of like the old adage in the business is don't pay attention to your reviews, pay attention to your register.
Oh, yeah, I'm impervious.
Yeah.
Someone sent my wife, we were at the gym today, and someone just popped up, and she says, look at this. And I said, what? It says, I ate the cauliflower pizza, and I'm still drunk. And I'm like, people go on there. I mean, what am I going to sit and write a lengthy retort? Can I help you with your alcohol problem or something? And they get one star. So I think it's just
The
You know,
Yelp.
people
Yeah, we don't
know
have
Yelp
stars.
and all that stuff. I'm
yeah.
impervious. I'm Irish.
We've
We've been called the village idiots and everything else our whole life.
Any place
You know,
that
you
lasts
rule the world if
30
you didn't
years
drink.
plus 15 years, that's 45 years. And
Yeah.
in this town, that's like
That's amazing.
that's ancient
impossible.
lifestyle. It means you're doing something right.
doing a lot of
And you
things
do
right. 5
everything
years.
right here.
5 years is a
not easy, no.
lifetime.
So, yeah, Pat, we've got 30 years on the original location. That's
15
again 3303 Park. No, Sheridan Street.
303 Sheridan.
Sheridan Street, corner of Park Road, Sheridan,
Yeah.
right across from TY
But if
Park.
you really want to see a food right here, right from the pizza oven.
Yeah.
That's
This
a
place
nice
has it
tavern.
all.
This is
When
the
I love the
dining
outside area in
destination.
between the two.
Yeah, we got everything.
Well,
Here.
we
inside
could
bars
brought
is
two
beautiful.
restaurants
Yes.
and combine
Yes.
them into one. You
With
had
a
a
drive-thru.
former Pizza Hut,
Yeah.
but you brought in your own new ovens, I imagine.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
No, actually, the brick oven pizza, I paid extra for it. It's from 1961.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
And the Southern Pride is
Southern Pride
a
oven is
super
good-
classic.
That's great.
Because, I was reading even all these coal-fired ovens, you got to run through a ton of food. So you have to get that kind of seasoning in
Seasoning,
there.
right? We were talking about
Yeah.
that at the new Pepe's Pizza the other day.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
you saw that.
granddaughter.
That's
yeah.
where I got it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but
Thousands of dollars.
your
worth
ovens
food.
are well seasoned here,
Oh, yeah.
and
Everything's
you've got
well
the
seasoned
smoker
here.
on the other side because it used to be a Texas barbecue
Yep.
joint, and
Charlie.
he took over Charlie's Barbecue. And again, you got really good brisket sandwiches and
I
the
got his
pulled pork
recipe.
and even just the chicken and all that stuff.
You have a nice wide array.
I bring some home, some of that barbecue chicken to my mom. She loves it. Some of your fantastic sides. So come on out. They're open late. How late is the kitchen go until these days?
Well, on the weekends, we keep it open to 3 o'clock in the morning,
wow.
Friday and Saturday night.
But the kitchen?
In the kitchen, yeah. Here we have a big weekend destination,
What?
and there's a lot of people moving here to East Dania. You see what's going on over
Yeah,
there on
yeah, they're building
Dania
high
Beach
rises
Boulevard. I
up
mean,
and down
it's-
Dania Beach
It's
Boulevard.
exploded. All of a sudden, Dania, Lauderdale is like it's a walking destination now.
I'm just sitting
So
in my
Dania-
house
yep.
and watching the values rise and rise.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. I'm
But,
okay.
Listen, the nice tie-in with you guys, you cover everything I'm interested in. You made a little reference to gambling and
Yes,
the
we got
line.
the
You gotta have
horses.
that. You got the horses. You enjoy food.
Love food.
You have everything. You guys are very, very funny.
We like to drink too,
well,
but we're taking it
We
easy
just
on
take
a
it
Monday
seriously
afternoon.
Yeah.
during the work
we have
hours,
some
yeah.
really good craft beer. Matter of fact, we have one made from a Winwood Brewery down
Yeah,
there.
Oh,
Rubia
nice.
has
Yeah,
a great
yeah,
yeah,
blonde ale.
We
I
have
love that.
And,
Yeah.
and also we have a Dolphin craft beer that's doing good.
Nice.
And all our drafts
It
are
starts
$4.
really hoppy and then it falls
Yeah.
flat at the
Yeah.
finish. Is that?
Yeah, it
is
goes
that-
flat fast. Yeah, the first half of the glass is delicious,
The last half
effervescent, full of nose. I love this when
I'm
they
feeding
regard
this
it.
guy the lines.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah.
he's
And then
loving
the
it.
second half is like swill. You're
We'll
walking
see.
around with half the glass like the
Where,
Dolphins.
where does Land Shark beer rank in sports bar sales?
Yeah.
Is it still popular? Do you have to have it, or is it something you can
that was
easily
a
eliminate?
Budweiser product. It had a little bit of a popularity because of phenomenal marketing, but once
Yeah,
Was
again,
Buffett involved with that?
Exactly.
or-
once again, that place
Buffett was
like
involved,
with
yeah.
the bologna sandwich, that was
Yeah.
the place that they used to
They were serving Land Shark as their
Nicely.
premium beer. Yeah.
a fried bologna with a little arugula. What was the arugula tie in there? Arugula.
It made it elevated.
With a little fresh.
Pistachio encrusted bologna, Patrick.
Why,
is
why
what
do you
he's
got a
looking for.
harsh on my
Organic Chardonnay
nostalgia
on my
mellow,
bologna.
man? It was good. I liked it. But all right, enough of the
Pay
bologna.
$30 for a bologna
No
sandwich.
phony baloney here at Shenanigans. But
good food.
Pat Otter, thanks so much for
No,
having
thank
us
you
in.
guys.
Yeah,
I
always
really
great.
enjoy-
We got to put in a word for talk about staying power. One of our other sponsors, and I got to say a kind word for Tropical Acres.
Oh,
They're
man.
now
Not far from down here.
Iconic.
another. When they started off, they were in Fort Lauderdale. Now they've been around so long that Dania Beach has taken them over and annexed that land over there. So. It's been around for 73 years, since 1949. The Studiali family do a great job. Tonight, Monday and Tuesday is half-price wine night. So go over there, have a little steak dinner, then come over here and watch the game, watch the Monday night game, drink some beers. We love Tropical Acres because they also have all kinds of good specials. They have a twin lobster special going Monday through Friday. 2 steamed, live, fresh Maine chick lobsters, pound and a quarter,
Mhm.
$35 with a salad inside. Great value, great people, great hospitality, just like my man Pat. I love my homies. I love my neighborhood. Tropical Acres is one of the places
Yeah,
that
oh,
it makes Dania Beach and the Hollywood area so special. Go in there, 2500 Griffin Road. Don't forget half-price wine night. Don't forget to get your loyalty card punched every 12 entrees, you get the 13th one free. Happy hour in the bar, 4:30 to 6:30 every night. You get some great values in there. So
I imagine some of those 72 Dolphins sat right in that beautiful steakhouse, red leather booths, grill center. Kai went to culinary school with. He retired from there. He had put 50 years on that grill. His name was Greg Pop.
Oh, nice.
I'd go see him, and he just retired last year.
Nice.
But they keep up a great show there.
They do good stuff. And so go check out Tropical Acres, and we'll be back after these words to wrap up another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
Well,
you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox from Shenanigan's East Side in Dania, 1300 South Federal Highway. It's great visiting with Pat Utter. He's a great human being, and we've moved on to the beer portion of our day.
Yes.
Oh, very good.
You and your antiques.
Salute.
Well, I mean, obviously you have no appreciation for fine art and, the history of things, having spent all this time overseas and, studying all of this Latin and stuff that you do. But you do appreciate a good beer, which is good. And for me, I just wanted to unload the stuff. I mean, it wasn't of any value to me sitting around there collecting dust.
He couldn't just steal it and fence it for you or something like that, or what?
No, this was legitimate stuff here, Mike Mayo. I mean, some of us do go legit from time to time, and I put this stuff up, and maybe somebody that's more of a finer connoisseur of things that are good in life, would appreciate the art and be willing to pay me thousands of dollars for this stinking lamp.
When it comes to, that's good. You want to find the rubes anywhere you can find them, but yeah, sure, it's quality stuff.
God.
And certificates of authenticity can be produced upon demand.
You have to know your stuff in that game. I mean, just you do in the food game, you just have to know what's real and what's not. Yeah.
The fraudsters and the posers from the real. Anyway, it's great to see a
Nice crowd.
great packed crowd here for lunch.
Nice.
A big bunch of Dolphin fans celebrating a victory, a hard-fought victory. Oh, I got to say also, happy Diwali. And not Diwali Backman. Diwali is a Hindu festival of lights, a 5-day festival, huge holiday and celebration across Southeast Asia and India, starting today. And it's celebrated with all kinds of feasting and sweets. So for all of the Lunchbox and Let's Eat South Florida crowd that is celebrating Diwali, happy Diwali. And I don't know about you, but maybe we got to get into your guy up there in Pompano Beach, the Indian restaurant.
Shaker, Deck and Spice.
Deck and Spice, which
doing very well, by the way. Was well received. Got favorable reviews. I was in there when they first opened up. I'm not very knowledgeable in Indian food, what to order.
Food.
There's certain standards.
Flavorful and not necessarily hot or spicy. I mean, they have spices, but a great.
Good too if you're like a vegetarian or you're looking to eat maybe a little bit more of a healthier thing. You can order things that make sense there. Although I think the big hit was the chicken sort of popsicles. No, I mean they're like little chicken pieces on a bone. They're fried a certain way.
Chicken that they serve usually on skewers, and very, very good smoky.
Very
flavor.
Nice, yes, very nice.
Tandoori.
But I saw a Shaker, and he's doing well there at Deck and Spice, and I guess I've seen reviews.
Let's get in there sometime. We're
going to
line up a whole bunch of
working on it.
And potential sponsors. We're going to keep signing them up because that's what we do. We're on a roll here, and why not? Because we have a good time, and we spotlight good food and good people. And I'm ready to roll. Now, we didn't get into my Publix chicken gate at all, and
it was unfortunate. Yeah, you get stiffed on a couple of pieces of chicken, including. I mean, if they were going to leave something out, leaving out the drumstick probably was the least offensive. Although they could have left out the two backs, But if they left out the two chicken breasts that they were supposed to give you, now that would have been
and I would be here's
cause for concern.
They were very, very large breasts, so I almost can't complain.
Put that in context. You were talking about a box of Publix fried chicken, not the lady behind you at Shenanigans.
I picked up a box. I thought I was going to go for the wings. Again, football night. We're going to drink some beer and just kind of chill out at home. Long weekend. Yeah. I was going to get the wings, and then this fried chicken. It looks like it had just come out of the fryer. I could smell the beautiful odor wafting towards my nostrils. Yeah. I said, I need that, and pick up it. And it's a good deal still. I mean, at Publix, you get the fried chicken. It's like $10 and change. Yep. But on the box, it says 8 pieces. It's supposed to be the 2 thighs, 2 breasts, 2 wings, and 2 big hefty drumsticks. I go in, and usually my play is, because I'm lazy, not lazy, but just when I'm getting the rest of the food prepared, I just grab a drumstick and start gnawing on it because that's the way I roll. Yep. And I go in, there is no drumstick, and then I count up my chicken. I only have 6 pieces, not 8.
Shorted, wow.
And I feel like now I've got to go and count and check my order. I got to check my chicken box at Publix and start counting. It's just
that'd be funny if you open up the box while you're standing there at that little counter with the heater and then started counting the chicken. Yeah.
So
that would look awful. You're anticipating they're going to give you the right count every time.
Yeah, Publix, yes.
It kind of threw me for a loop, but you know what? I made up for it in spades today because here we are. I got all these beautiful drumettes and the.
How's this meatloaf? You didn't give a review of the meatloaf.
Meatloaf is really good.
I'm giving it a big thumbs up because you got that. The Worcestershire gives it that little umami flavor. Gives it that little, nice rounding flavor. Beautiful, good dish. Come on out to Shenanigans. Thanks to Pat Utter, Defo. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully in the flesh at Grandpa's
tomorrow.
I'll be there. I have to get another one of those potato knishes, and I have to make sure that I take one to go. Those were absolutely dynamite. As good as I've had here in South Florida. It was fantastic. And many other things they have there would be reasonable.
They did a great job.
Well, we'll see you again tomorrow at Grandpa's in in Dania Beach. We're staying close to my hood because I am making it convenient for me, but why not? All right. Thanks again to Pat.
Others are of little concern if you're in the Mike Mayo world.
Yeah, I'm a selfish prick. What do you want?
Yes.
That's it. All right. We'll see everybody again tomorrow for Mike Lubie Lubitz, Jeff Defo DeForest. I'm Mike Moderation Mayo saying remember to enjoy every chicken wing, meatloaf bite, and every sandwich.